Hey guys, what's up? Spectre here, and we've finally gotten a look at gameplay in Borderlands 3. There's a lot to break down here, so let's get right into it. Right off the bat, I won't be going through the presentation chronologically. I'll be dividing the best bits into distinct categories, that way everything is easily digestible. It's only fitting that we start with guns. We recently learned that weapons now have a gear score, but now we also know that we can modify their firing type and bullet type as well. For example, by adding a mod, you can go from firing bullets to firing mini missiles, Torg style. Some weapons can also change elemental damage type on the fly as well. Each manufacturer has returned with signature quirks. Hyperion shotguns, for example, will have a hollow shield that extends when aiming down sight. TDR weapons will still be thrown away when reloaded, along with some new effects like turning into a bouncing explosive red ball or turning into an explosive that fractures into smaller explosives. We also saw an Atlas pistol that fires a tracking dart, and all bullets that you shoot afterwards will hit that tracked target no matter where you aim, Fifth Element style. We've even got a glimpse at boss-specific weapon drops, an awesome addition to the game. Overall, I'm just really happy with the weapon diversity that we've seen so far. I have a bit more on loot drops in just a minute. Moving on to combat. While the combat of Borderlands and its sequels was fun and fast-paced, it needed a few modern comforts. Players can now slide and vault onto objects in Borderlands 3, as well as light snap into cover. You can also throw combustible clutter-like barrels at your enemies, like this. NPCs can now revive you when you're downed as well. And in the heat of combat, we also got a glimpse at some somewhat destructible cover. You won't always be fighting alone, however, and Borderlands 3 is making changes to multiplayer this time around. Now when you drop into a friend's game, enemies will scale to your level along with loot. This instanced loot will only be visible to you and will drop at your level. This means that even when helping lower-leveled friends, you'll have a challenging time and worthwhile rewards. And they won't get insta-killed when playing in your game either. Do you actually want to fight over loot and race to chests with your friends? You can still play classic mode. We also got a deeper look at two of the playable characters. The first was Amara. Her action skills are Phase Grasp, which will work similar to Phase Lock, holding enemies in place in midair, Phase Cast, which shoots out a spectral form of Amara that damages enemies, and Phase Slam, an AoE attack with knockback and damage. Players will be able to further enhance those skills with augmentations in the skill tree. Next, we learn more about Zane's abilities. This hybrid character can run two action skills at once, unlike his companions. His skills include Digiclone, which creates a virtual clone that can shoot, and you can also swap places with this clone at any time in order to evade attacks. Sentinel Drone will release a drone that can attack enemies and even use grenades. You can also mark targets for your Sentinel. And finally, Barrier. Zane will throw out a shield that can heal or apply elemental types when you and your team shoot through it. No matter which character you choose to play, you'll no doubt want to customize their looks, and Borderlands 3 has you covered. You'll be able to change player skins, echo device skins, heads, and now even emotes. This announcement scared me admittedly, but at the end of the presentation they reassured us that Borderlands 3 will be microtransaction free. Apparently, Gearbox has doubled down on story. In Borderlands 3, we're aiding the Crimson Raiders in destroying the Children of the Vault, a homicidal cult that worships the Calypso twins. We're in a race to unlock vaults not only on Pandora, but across multiple planets, which means one thing: we're going to space. Sanctuary 3, as we don't talk about Sanctuary 2, will be our home amongst the stars. This massive ship will house vendors, NPCs both old and new, and will provide players a space to store loot and change their loadouts. It will feature a new Lost and Found, for weapons that you either forgot to pick up or that fell off the edge of the map, for example. No more missing out on drops. You'll even be able to add to the space in a few new cool ways. You'll have your own player's quarters that's customized to your character. For example, we saw the room as Amara, so there's a punching bag and other clutter to complement her. And you'll be able to customize this room further. You can also display prized weapons on new trophy racks and show off your loot. Heading over to Hammerlock's area, you'll find tons of trophy racks. Instead, you won't be hanging guns here, but instead the heads of beasts that he sends you to hunt down. Hammerlock isn't the only familiar face, as Tannis makes a return, as well as Moxie and even Marcus, who can now sell us inventory upgrades for cash. There's a bunch of other familiar faces on board as well, and while the space seems a bit tinier and more condensed than the original Sanctuary, it seems much more lively. It also seems to be just one of the in-game hubs. The worlds we do visit seem diverse and quite interesting. We got a look at Promethea. This city planet is the headquarters of Atlas, a corporation currently under siege by Malawan. It seems we're gonna get caught in the crossfire. These worlds will have more boss fights than Borderlands 1 or 2, and seem to feature more diverse enemy types as well. Overall, I'm incredibly happy with the presentation, and I'm more excited for this game than possibly any other sequel I've seen in quite some time. If you remember the desolate lands of Borderlands, you can clearly see how this game is a step up in almost every way. Gearbox hasn't forgotten what makes Borderlands such a fan favorite, and it seems to be improving on what we already loved. They're going to be showing us even more over the summer, leading right up to the September 13th release. They'll even be showing us more at E3, Gamescom, and GuardianCon. How are you feeling about Borderlands 3? Let me know in the comments below, and leave a like to let me know that you want more Borderlands 3 coverage. And as always,
don't